her gods and her family, but Ruth told Naomi, I'm not going anywhere, right? Your God's going to be my God, your people are going to be my people, and nothing is going to separate us but death. And so I want to just talk about this real quickly. I want to talk about this and how you see, here's Naomi grieving, right? She's going through, the loss of her husband. Orpah and Ruth, they're grieving too. They're grieving too. Orpah decides to go back to her gods and her people. That's what Orpah decides to do. There are a lot of people who do that even now today, right? When they're going through hardships, when they're going through suffering, heartaches, they'll tend to go back to their old idols, their old gods, their old lifestyle, their old friends. And that's what you see Orpah doing, going back to, it says real clearly, her gods and her people. But Ruth said, man, I'm going to leave Moab. I'm going to leave that old life. And I'm going to make Yahweh my God. And I'm going to make Yahweh's people my people. And that's what Ruth decided to do. But not only that, it says that she came under the Lord's wings. It says that there in Ruth chapter 2, verse 12, as Boaz is speaking to her. She came under the Lord's wings for refuge, it says. And so that's what she decided to do. Man, when I look at this and I look at how Ruth handled her grieving, how Ruth handled her hardship, she did it by making God her God, by making God's people her people, by coming under God's wings for refuge. But then she did two other things, beloved. She loved and cared for her grieving mother-in-law. You see, sometimes the tendency is when we grieve or when we go through hardships, when we go through suffering, to become inverted. And we just kind of think about ourselves, and we think about how we can just kind of get through this ourselves, and maybe we'll turn to pills or weed or drinking or some other thing to get us through that season that we're going through. But beloved, listen, Ruth went through that season in her life. She handled her grieving by helping her mother-in-law process her grieving. And so she loved and cared for Naomi. She was there for her. And I believe, beloved, that's a good lesson for you and I. Instead of becoming inverts, man, we need to become people who look outside of ourselves to the hurts of others and help them process and get through theirs. And so, man, if you're going through something today, if you're going through a hardship in your life, a heartache in your life, man, don't go back to your old gods. Don't go back to your old people and start living like your old people. Beloved, make God your God. Make God's people your people. Come under the wings of refuge of the Lord and begin to live with love and care for those that are hurting around you. Hey, this has been Real Talk from the Heart. I hope you've been blessed this morning. I hope that your Thursday will be a day where you are filled with the Holy Spirit. You're walking in the Holy Spirit, man, and you are representing Jesus Christ in this world. Remember, the Lord loves you, and so do I. Salute.